What's up, everybody? You're ringside with Roy, and today I want to talk about who is better prepared for the pending fight between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. Okay, so I'm doing this video kind of one day premature because tonight Anthony Joshua fights Christian Prenga from Albania, and I'm doing this under the pretense or the premonition, if you will, that he stops him early and does a demolition job on him. AJ does to Prenga, and then we can all start getting excited for a fight that potentially is past its sell-by date. Although I still will watch it, and I know you all will too. It'll be huge. It'll be huge for British boxing. I think British boxing needs this fight. Heavyweight boxing needs this fight. The two of them need this fight because they don't want to walk around post their careers going, you never fought AJ or you never fought Fury, to the respective conversation. And yeah, you should have, because we all wanted to see it. So why didn't you fight? What was the reason? So last night Tyson Fury fought an aged Marius Vach. I think he's 47 years old. Stopped him in the 7th round in their fight in front of 2,000 people in Thailand. It was supposed to be on Netflix, but it wasn't in the end, so it wasn't even free to view. They made no money off it. There was no pay-per-view. It was, to me, what you would call like a corporate event, like a corporate sponsored event. Tyson Fury's brand, getting it out there, doing the philanthropy. Apparently his purse was donated to charity, which is amazing, but I'd love to see him donate a purse to charity that, when he fought someone in front of 50,000 people and it was on pay-per-view. This is a different story. So, nice little event for him, but he had no ring rust to shake off. So I guess a lot of people are scratching their heads wondering, like, why would you even bother? That's just like 7 rounds of sparring with, an old former title challenger. And he's fought the who's who of heavyweights. Marius Vach has. He's fought my man Kevin Lorenas from South Africa, shout out, in South Africa. And even then he was a journeyman. Like, he'd kind of taken the prize fighter / journeyman status. I think he gives most young heavyweights a problem because of his height, but Tyson Fury's probably taller than him. In fact, I think he is taller than him. So, or maybe he's just an inch shorter than him, because he's 6'6", and I believe Vach is 6'7". But no matter, that's a live-ish opponent off the back of fighting Arslanbek Makhmudov, which was a competitive fight, at least a little bit competitive. It was one-sided in favor of Fury, but Makhmudov was always a threat and physically was imposing. And that's kind of a lot of, I put a lot of stock in that for Tyson Fury. Whereas AJ, he fights Christian Prenga tonight, who's a live opponent, but he's unheralded. He's 20 fights, or 21 or 20 and 1, and he's at 20 knockouts, and he's live, but he's unheralded, and he has no real threat, I'd say, to Anthony Joshua, other than he's a big puncher. But Anthony Joshua's fought bigger punchers than him, and people who have fought under much brighter lights and in bigger events. So it doesn't really make me worried for AJ. I just wonder when he's going to stop him and when the date gets signed. But it's worrying for AJ, because the last time he fought was in 2025 December, I believe, against Jake Paul, which again was an exercise in him increasing his value and stock in the US, getting his name out there. And unfortunately he had a terrible event that took place after that, where he lost his 2 best friends in an awful car accident in Nigeria. But who knows what would have happened straight after that, because I think he had other plans, so, but unfortunately that transpired, which was awful, and he needed the just deserves some time to figure things out after that. And now we're very thankful and happy to see him fight somebody, and we're like very, very grateful that there's an opportunity for him to get through this test tonight, and however big the test is, and to fight Tyson Fury. But mentally and physically he looks, as he always does, in incredible shape. But like mentally and just from a ring rust point of view, knocking Christian Prenga out in 2 to 3 rounds, what does that actually do? I mean, it'll build his confidence to an extent, but like, he's not had any tests, he's not had any adversity thrown his way. And if he gets in the ring with Tyson Fury, who, okay, yeah, he, had a sparring session last night with Vach, but he had a proper fight against Makhmudov, and he broke a bit of a sweat against him, and he's been busier and more active in the last few years of his career. Now, if I look at probabilities, right, like, so from a KO standpoint, Tyson Fury's a big man with a big punch on him, but he's not the biggest knockout artist. He's got a 69% KO ratio. Anthony Joshua's got an 89% KO ratio. He's a much bigger puncher. And if I look at his the 6 shared opponents that these guys have, so I won't do it in specific order, but I'll try. Kevin Johnson, AJ knocked him out. Tyson Fury went the distance with him. Okay, Dillian White, AJ knocked him out in brutal fashion. Tyson Fury knocked him out. Then we got Otto Wallin. AJ retired Otto Wallin, and Tyson Fury went the distance with him. Vladimir Klitschko, okay, so that was a bit earlier than that, but Vladimir Klitschko, who can forget at the O2, AJ's, kind of his shot to the stratosphere. His brand name went up massively. It was a huge win for him, and an amazing performance against Vladimir Klitschko, knocking him out. Tyson Fury boxed Klitschko's ears off in Düsseldorf, so to win the world titles from him, which makes that a bigger victory. But I don't know if it was actually a bigger victory. That's a talking point in itself. But it was probably Fury's biggest win outside of the Wilder fights, when he knocked out Wilder in the second and third fight. Then they've got the shared opponents in Francis Ngannou, which obviously AJ did a demolition job on Ngannou, and yeah, Tyson Fury won on a split. So who knows what happened there. And then they've obviously both fought Alexander Usyk twice, and they've both lost each to Usyk. And another separate talking point, who did better against Usyk? I'd say Fury arguably at least got a draw in the first fight, and was way more competitive throughout the both. Whereas AJ had he had a lot of success against Usyk in their second fight, but he didn't cover himself in any glory, and he lost those fights fairly. I would say he lost those 2 fights, even no matter how well he did in the second one, he lost it. Whereas I thought Fury, he could have got a draw in the first fight. It was very close, very, very close. So yeah, I would say, I'm not going to make any predictions just yet, but I would say definitely, if you were going on preparation alone, you would say Fury is definitely more prepared than AJ. Although, if we're talking about heavyweight boxing and knockout artistry, can start leaning a little bit towards the man who has the higher KO ratio. But I think preparation is key to this one, and I think it's going to be a massive mental fight as much as it is a physical one in the ring. In the 12 rounds or however many rounds it is that they fight, I'm still waiting for the fireworks that are to come in the press conferences and the build-up. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. I'd be keen to get any comments on who you think is better prepared, and you can start giving me your predictions and your thoughts, but I'd love to hear your opinions in the comment section. Please like and subscribe for more, and have a great Saturday. Enjoy the fight.